We're here with Brad Kay, winner of the 22nd CDGA Senior Amateur Championship at Kishwaukee Country Club. Brad, how are you feeling after the win?
I am ecstatic. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of ups and downs, and struggled at times in the last few years to close things out, and this is very rewarding to know that I was able to do it this week.
And you mentioned closing things out the last few years. This is the second time you've won this event, so how does this one compare to the first?
Probably better because I'm older. You know, as we get older, we look at the tee sheet and we're like, man, are there a lot of good golfers? And there's a lot of us that look at it and say, how are we even going to make the cut? Evidenced by Mark and I, we were in a playoff. So this was probably the first time the finals was conducted by two people that came out of the playoff. But just making the cut is an accomplishment, and then just the players that I played against this week, just unbelievable players, really feel great.
And I mentioned you won this event in the past. You've also won the senior 4-ball event, all of which are match play events. So what about match play suits your game so well?
I think you can be a little bit more aggressive. You know, it's not a conservative game where pars are good. I mean, you got to try and make birdies where you can put pressure on somebody. I was thinking about that earlier this week about just trying to stay aggressive. And I was able to do that all week.
Absolutely. And then looking to today, your match with Mark, you traded blows a little bit on the front nine. You were tied making the turn. And then something seemed to click on 10 and 11 with some birdies there. So what was that?
You know, this may sound crazy, but I like the wind. Played in a lot of wind in college. It's a great equalizer. People a lot of times don't like it. It's hard to make birdies. Pars are always good. So just play aggressive and make aggressive swings, the conservative spots, and that's kind of what happened for me today.
And then you closed out the last 7 holes at 2 under par, including those 2 birdies that I mentioned just a second ago, and then pars on 12 through 16. So how important were those birdies that we discussed in easing your play down the stretch? Extremely.
On 10, Mark made about a 20-footer for, you're sitting back, and he's got a 20-footer for par, and I looked at that putt and said, be prepared to putt it, because the putts go in, and Mark's a great putter. I think the wind affected him a little bit today on the putting green. So that ball went in. I will tell you, to step up and knock my putt in just gave me a lot of confidence that I could pull that off.
Absolutely. And you've mentioned the wind a couple of times. I'm sure it can be heard and seen here. Did you have to make any alterations to your game today, or you said you're used to it, so maybe not?
No, when the wind comes, I hit a lot of punch shots. I like when we have to keep the ball down. And today was definitely one of those days.
Absolutely. And then the course itself, Kishwaukee Country Club, played just over 6,000 yards, which, as you said earlier, on the scorecard doesn't look like much, but it seemed to hold its own. So what about this place was able to do that?
There is nothing easy about this. You look at the scorecard and you say, wow, this is short. Short is generally, you think, easy. Probably the smallest greens I've played on in a long time. And some difficult slopes. So it was a great test. It's a great match play course. I found a new course I really like.
And then just lastly, off camera, when you were receiving your trophy, you mentioned your friendship with Mark and all the other guys out here. So what about that just brings everything together at these championships?
So, one of my best friends in my life is Brian Gerber. We won the senior 4-ball. We go back to grade school. We talked about it coming into this tournament, about you just look at the names and it's so hard just to make the cut. We both were able to make the cut, get into match play. But then it's, Mark earlier this week, the first time I see him in a while, and he comes running up with his camera on his phone to show me that he's a new grandpa. And we get those types of relationships with people out here. Got a number of phone calls on my ride home last night, and I'm sure there's going to be more tonight. But yeah, really proud. Worked at it hard, and can't wait to talk to a bunch of family and friends.